Looking for change. One man faces charges. A 5-year-old girl is dead. Her 20-year-old sister remains hospitalized.
Residents asking for safety measures to prevent tragedies like this in Harlingen. Channel 5's John Paul Barajas with the story.
That 5-year-old girl and her 20-year-old sister both hit by a driver who police say failed to stop. They also say the two victims were selling newspapers in the street at that time. That has some residents wanting more rules for vendors. Police say the two sisters were selling newspapers Sunday morning at the intersection of Stewart Place Road and Expressway 83 when they were hit by a car shortly after 9 a.m.
I know it's the driver's fault. It's a tragedy, but I don't know why the city would allow children.
5-year-old Angelina Huerta was killed. Her sister, 20-year-old Leslie Huerta, remains in the hospital. According to witnesses, the driver stopped briefly but then took off. The middle of that intersection now marked with a small memorial, flowers, stuffed animals, and a newspaper.
You understand you have a right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
You understand that anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law?
The man police say was driving, 42-year-old Jose Trujillo. He went before a judge this morning. He's now charged with 2nd and 3rd degree felonies for an accident involving death and an accident causing serious injury.
If you're found guilty for 2nd degree felony, you can sentence anywhere from 2 years up to 20 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institution.
Harlingen residents are heartbroken over the loss of a child, but they're also upset with the city. They think more should be done to prevent tragedies like this.
I wish the city would ban any child from selling newspapers, and that's the right thing to do.
Harlingen Planning Director Xavier Cervantes says the city has no ordinances in place right now. He doesn't believe any city in the valley does, but he does say street vendors have been a concern for years.
Based on the accident that took place yesterday, that was quite unfortunate. I don't know, maybe we should look into this further and possibly adopt an ordinance.
Cervantes says because they are selling newspapers, one concern cities have when considering regulations is violating freedom of speech. Cervantes adds if a new ordinance is written, the fastest he thinks it could be approved is a month and a half, but he says at this point there are no plans to move forward with the idea. In the studio, John Paul Barajas, Channel 5 News at 6.